Top Faith Ministries, Marriage Empowerment, session number 1 with Michael and Sheila Harris.
Oh, you got it right. Okay.
All right. So in this session, you guys will be being introduced to Michael and Sheila Harris here, who have been married for a long time.
We will be married 30 years. Well, actually, our first wedding was in June. It was June the 14th in 1982. And then we had our ceremony September the 12th, 1982 at the Aladdin in the ballroom.
You mean 92?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 82, 92.
82, we was just,
82, I was still in high school.
I was too.
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
Right in Las Vegas.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, you wasn't here.
It was 92. Yes.
Right.
82, I was just graduating high school.
Ouch.
But yeah. But anyway, glad to be married to you, babe. Yeah, you had a freshman, you had a baby.
Yeah, they put you in jail.
That's not, that ain't the way it's supposed to go.
What's that?
I wouldn't have went to nobody's, no. Anyway, getting back to the empowerment.
Yes.
Number one.
So for all you guys who are joining us in session number 1, I feel bad for you, but here we go. We're gonna ask this lovely couple
Yes.
4 to 5 questions
Okay.
about how it's been like being in this marriage.
Okay.
You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, I'll go
I like
first.
To read
Well,
Yes.
let me ask you the first question first.
Oh, okay.
I think both of you should answer the question.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Knowing that you weren't 16 or 17 years old when you got married, did you guys have any exes, and did they help or hinder your marriage?
Who's going first? Me? I'll go first.
Ladies first.
Okay. Our exes did not help our marriage. They did not help our relationship, not one bit. Even though, I want to be the example of what I would want my ex to do. So we tried. We tried to be, we tried to do what was not being shown. We tried to invite exes over for holidays because we are a blended family. It didn't go all that well. And when we first met, to be transparent, my ex followed us on the freeway and even in his car and knocked on the window. So yeah, that didn't start off well. But it would be ideal if past relationship or the end of a relationship, when you go into a new one, if the ex could just, especially when there's children, like try to, what I want to say, be more open to doing what's best for the kids. Put personal feelings aside, because I tried, because I wanted to not have a friendship with that person anymore, but have a relationship where the kids can feel free to be who they want to be and not have to hide, what they did with mom to dad or what they did with dad to mom. Be free and open so they can express who they are and be who they are. And my way didn't work out all that well, but I tried. How about you?
Oh, on the other hand, on my end, in the beginning, it was a little rocky.
Go ahead. You can say it.
It was, it was a little rocky, getting the ex to understand who I was, what I was about. Again, like Sheila said, inviting them in to the relationship to let them know that who we are and who's watching the kids. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of rocky. I mean, it pretty much was almost getting physical at one point in time, this saying, but we never did. It was just pretty much talk. we talked, and finally, as time progressed, I invited him out to play basketball with me and the boys, just so he'll know who's actually is in their life at this time. Because I feel like that's the way you can open it up. And he came out, and it was good. We played a few times, and then all of a sudden he asked a few questions. He didn't know how we did it. Did our so far as the blended family, we had the kids, and we had actually 4 kids, and he couldn't understand how we were doing what we was doing. And so as time progressed, he faded. He just pretty much left out of the relationship.
As we're still remaining on this topic a little bit more, like how was the relationship? Like, was there like real drama? Because a lot of marriages, especially when you're coming in from something else, there's maybe, like, I know you brought up the kids, but like actually drama as in like threatening from letting somebody be with the kids.
Well, yeah, there was. Yeah. I'll be transparent again. Yes, there was drama. Quite, yeah. With me, it did get physical one time. But you know what? To me, it was like, I don't know why, if you don't want a person and you did not put forth the effort to make it work, and you're willing to discard a person as that easily without fight, why fight so hard once they move on? And to me, that's what was happening. It was like they fought against the relationship, decided they didn't want it. Once that person moved on, before they moved on, now we had an issue where it was a battle. It was almost like, I don't want you, but I don't want anybody else to want you either. And so it was, and we were moving on, and we were being us, and we were doing things and traveling and just living life. And to some, it was like, now they see the value in a person because they're doing things with someone else. And now all of a sudden, I don't know if they wanted it back or they realized what they let go of, but they, instead of, and me, I even told his ex, I said, you were married to him first and you had his 2 children. I'm sure there's a connection there. If you want him back, I'm sure you can get him because you know him better than I do right at this point. And she said, I can? And I'm like, yeah, you just have to stop doing what you're doing. But she didn't, and I ended up with him.
I won.
Yes.
So you being the other person watching all this unfold, your ex, your new partner, right. What was going through your head?
That he didn't want me to get hurt.
Yes.
They thought I was this little green little babe. That's what they thought. And so I proved to be.
No, I actually knew what she was about. I knew she can hold her own because, as we dated, we would go walk through the parks and, we played boxing. And when she put up her fist like she was ready to fight, I'm like, dude, she can hold her on. It's like, it's like, she was ready. It was like shoulders and everything. And so, and if somebody was chasing her, I knew she could hold her own there because you couldn't catch her. So, but getting back to your question on the...
Just so everybody's aware, real quick, we're not condoning fighting people.
No, getting back to the ex, it wasn't... I wasn't looking to fight him or anything, but he had did some things that hurt her. And pretty much she asked for my assistance at this time. So I plotted along with another person, and we did what she needed to get done. It wasn't no physical, it wasn't brought no cops or anything like that. the gentleman was pretty much, he was like, whoa, okay, well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, and then later on, he was a little hurt, so I had my spot, she had her spot, and I was over at the house, and he wanted to mess with my car. And that's one thing you don't do to brothers. You don't mess with the cars. The woman and the car. But anyway, so he said he was going to scratch my car up, and now I'm coming out the house. And so it never got physical, because when I came out the house, I said, I'm leaving. He jumped in his car, I jumped in my car. He pretty much drove on the side of me. And we got to a light, and we exchanged words. And like I told him, I said, man, you had her first, but right now, she don't want you anymore. So you might want to move on. I said, be a man about it. So at that point, he said some more choice words. And I said, come on. I said, I'm not a boy. We could just step out and do what we have to do. And so I kind of reached down in my seat.
Oh, boy.
And he pretty much took off at that point. But it wasn't physical. I had nothing in my seat. I just got tired of playing the game. Again, I'm a man. And I don't joke around when it comes time to try to hurt me.
And that is part of the reason why when I wanted to now, once we got mature in our relationship, I wanted to help blend it to make a bridge so the kids could be comfortable going back and forth. And so we were having a birthday party. I'm like, we're going to invite them over. And Mike was like, oh, no, we're not. And I'm like, well, this is the way it's supposed to be. I mean, like, we've moved on. He's now remarried. So, and he moved right around the corner from us. So it was like, let's do our best to try to make this work. Let's show what we talk about. Let's be about what we talk about. And we were talking about healing. We were talking about being in a better place. And so we were trying to show that and be that. And so it did work for a little. It did work for a little bit. And then I guess he got tired and he just disappeared. So.
But I used to always tell her, I said, when he moved around the corner or down less than a mile away, jokingly, I said to her, he's trying to come back home. And she would laugh. But it did turn out to be a positive thing on our part, me and him, and
the
Sheila
kids
as well, and the kids. Because he would come over and get the kids, no problem, take them where he needs to be. But, I come home one day from work. Sheila picked me up from work one day, her and her cousin, and she said, we need to go to his house. We need to go to his house. I'm like, huh? I said, no, I don't know him that well to go to his house. And she said, yeah, you need to go. So I ended up being open-minded, and so I went. And when we went into the house, he had snacks and stuff like that. But I'm looking around in this house, and Sheila said, what do you see? What do you see? I say, he has the same setup as we have so far as decor. His color scheme and everything was, and I'm like, wow. I said, again, I think he's coming back home. He's trying to come back home.
No.
But anyway, so after that, it just phased out. He started a relationship. He had another child, and he moved on.
We endured.
So, it was positive in the end. I'm not a violent person.
We keep going back to this violence thing.
But I just wanted people to know I'm not a violent. I'm really, I'm really easygoing person. But
so as everybody at home can see, everybody has a couple of moments in their past that is suspect to interpretation. We'll leave it there. Let's move to the next question.
Yes.
Let's go to a positive.
Let's please do that. Yes.
Let's mix it up.
Yes.
Positive
Because
is
people
good.
have to see us at church,
Yeah, not know you reaching down the seats and stuff. So, can you name some of the ways or all the ways to say I love
You want me to go first again?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Some of the ways I say I love you without verbally saying I love you is Michael likes to eat these breakfast bowls in the morning. And so I always check the freezer to make sure he has enough of them in the freezer as it goes to commercial on the phone. And then what other ways do I make sure? It's certain things that he likes to eat that I make sure is there. It's certain things that, well, when we first started, I used to iron his clothes, and me, I don't care. So his dress shirts, he wears suits and ties to work. So I would only iron the front of the sleeve because I figured the heat goes all the way through. So I didn't. So he kindly one day said, "Babe, you gotta iron the back." And I'm like, "Why? It goes all the way through." And so I kind of took offense to that because basically he was telling me that I didn't know how to iron clothes. So, but, knowing how hard he worked, I did start ironing. For a couple of times I didn't iron the back of the sleeve still. But I started ironing the back of the sleeve. And, because that's how he liked it. And then it's other little nitpicky things that he have that I don't like doing, but I do it just because he likes it, and that's how I.
That's how you say you love me.
Yeah, I think you went the wrong direction.
Why?
Well,
What I'm saying,
the breakfast bowls I get, but you fighting the iron and sleeve the right way. It's kind of like the opposite.
No, I wasn't fighting. I did it, but I didn't see the need, because to me, when I look at the sleeve, it looked like it was all the way ironed, but he could tell. So I had to do it, because he could tell, but I couldn't, because to me, it was perfectly fine. So what?
No,
it was.
Is there any non-service ways you say I love you in your relationship?
Non-service?
Yeah, because you make sure he has the breakfast bowls.
Yes, and I make sure his shirt is ironed properly.
His shirt is ironed properly, but...
And I make sure he looks doggone good and smells good when he go to work. Yes, because I love a man that smells good. And yeah, so he looks as good, he smells as good as he look. But anyway, what else?
That was nice.
Yes, yeah.
How do you tell your wife that you love her?
Well, first of all, I try to meet her needs. So far as one thing I do is early in the morning when I'm leaving out the house, I make sure that she knows that I'm there, and I pretty much, she's sleeping, so I touch her and I kiss her, and I whisper to her I'm leaving, and that's one way, to let her know that, hey, I'm here, but I'm leaving at this point. Also, she have a thing about decoration. So meeting that, putting a smile on her face lets me know that, hey, I satisfied her at this point. She know that I care, and she know that I love her, because when she think of it, I put it together, and as a team, we make it happen. And we get compliments, and again. Another way is Christmas. That is her day. In the beginning, I used to mess it up. But then I saw how it made her feel. And it didn't take me long, believe me. So after that, it's like, okay, this is hers. We're going to make it happen. So I decorate the house inside and outside. And she's, it just brings joy
pretty,
to her.
Yeah.
It brings joy to her, and she's competitive because she look at other houses and
We supposed to have won every year that we've been here, and we haven't won yet. I think they're cheating. Yeah, I don't know who's winning, but no one beats our decorations. Even our grandkids say so, but they probably buy us, huh? Okay, but anyway.
Anyway,
yeah.
and through text. And through a text.
Yes,
say,
through text,
I love you.
Yes.
Emojis and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. He puts gas in my car too.
Oh yeah, gas in the car, wash the car,
Yeah.
check the oil.
Yeah, Yeah, that's tough right there. See, a lot of people don't understand. Like, you need to go into detail on how much, like, you put gas in the car, you wash the car. I mean,
wax it.
Yeah.
It rains. She tell me it rains, and then next thing you know, I'll take care of it again. Believe me, deep down inside, it's like, dude, you got some work to do. But I'm doing it for her.
Yes.
I'm doing it for her.
so as a theme, it seems like both of you say, "I love you" by service.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's ironing, making sure, like, you know, the bowls are in the fridge or the freezer, the breakfast bowls. Yours is, you know, decorating the home. I mean, construction, might as well say. Washing the car, making sure the gas, cars filled up with gas and different things like that. Is that, and I'm asking the question, is that what speaks to each one of you, or is there more ways to show that I love you that would be something you're missing?
Well, what speaks to me too, you know, it's like holding her hand. You know, hugging her, letting her know that, hey, I mean, I get a feeling out of it too. It's like, whoa, let me hug her. Let me, you know, because it makes me feel that I'm loving her. And it also, I know she's actually feeling the same as I. That is a really good, that's me right there. I'm not saying I'm a touchy-feely, but at a moment I can just, out of the blue, I can say, hey babe, let me have a hug, or I can hug her, you know, and, you know, can I have a kiss? You know, things like that. There's something that put a smile on her face really brings joy to me as well. And I always said that I want to love her to where, no, I'll scratch that one.
No, go ahead. He says he wants to, so when he's not here anymore, that nobody else could take his place, and no one can.
I'm just saying.
No one ever will be able to take your place.
Because in relationships, so far as an auntie and how she loves her husband. I mean, he passed away and she couldn't get over it. I mean, not saying she couldn't move on, but she knew
that she had been loved.
That she'd been loved.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that she's going to do what she did, but just to put it out there that once I'm gone, I'm not just out of her heart.
Oh,
I'm
no.
still there.
In my head too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm there, you know, and that's what I saw in a relationship so far as my auntie.
Okay.
I mean, she visited him afterwards every month. I mean, and that says a lot.
Yeah. Mine, on me, it's the way we have this thing. He likes to sing to me sometime, and it's, you know, my face hurts after he gets through singing because he's really into it, and he's really, truly, literally singing straight to me.
And dancing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I feel it. I feel everything that he has in him for me. I feel it, and it just makes my heart glad. And it's like at times, sometimes I'm not feeling well, and I know he's at home. All I'm thinking about, I just need to get home because this is where I feel safe. This is where I feel like I will be taken care of. And regardless of what's going to happen, you know, he's not going to let anything happen to me if it's within his power. You know, of course, the ultimate is all in God's hands. But as much as he can do to protect me and make sure that I'm all right, he's going to do that. And that makes me feel good. So, yes.
That's awesome. And
Okay.
this has been a great first session.
All right.
And I can't wait to see what we're going to talk about in episode number 2.
It won't be violence.
It
won't be violent.
Oh, no, you keep saying that.
Well, it's just...
No, we're going to stop. We're going to stop.
Okay.
Go back to details.
All
right.
Life is short. Life
Yes.
is good.
Yes,
God bless and good night.
Awesome. See you guys in episode number 2.